bosun pulled up the gangplank, Ivy started the engines, and soon they were off, hurrying towards Scrabble Island, along the silvery path the moonlight made upon the waves. Chapter 2. Uncle Bernie. The moon was going down by the time the daring dormouse pulled into the harbour at Scrabble Island. Millie had arrived earlier in her helicopter. She and Uncle Bernie were waiting on the dock to greet the AdventureMice. Behind them, in the dim early morning light, stood the laboratory and the Bug Hotel where Uncle Bernie's messenger beetles lived. Around them stood the ruins of older laboratories, because Uncle Bernie's inventions sometimes went off with unexpected bangs. When that happened, it was often easier to build a new laboratory than repair the old one. "Is everything all right?" shouted Skipper as Bosun and Ivy moored the dormouse.
"Yes," said
Millie, looking a bit annoyed.
"There wasn't an emergency at all. Uncle Bernie just wants to show us his latest invention."
"But I want to show it to you now,"
said Uncle Bernie. He ran along the dock to shake each of the AdventureMice by the paw as they stepped ashore.
"It is most important. The launch window will only be open for a few more hours."
"What's a launch window?"
Pedro asked Fledermaus in a whisper.
"No idea,"
said Fledermaus.
"Maybe he means lunch window,"
he added, hopefully. Uncle Bernie heard them whispering.
"Aha!"
he said, blinking at Pedro through his spectacles.
"You must be Pedro. I'm very glad you are here. You are the most important adventure mouse of all."
"Me?"
Pedro was amazed and a bit embarrassed. He knew he wasn't the most important adventure mouse. He was the youngest, newest, most accident-prone adventure mouse. But Uncle Bernie took him firmly by the paw and led him up the path towards the laboratory, ahead of all the others.
"I've heard all about you," he said. "You scared Mortlake the Otter away from Big Island by piloting a rocket straight at him."
"I didn't exactly pilot it,"
said Pedro.
"My tail just got sort of tangled up with the string."
He shivered, remembering how the rocket had carried him high up over the deep water channel and then burst, dropping him among the nameless isles. But Uncle Bernie wasn't listening.
"Your daring flight is what inspired my latest invention,"
he said, as he led Pedro and the others into his laboratory. He pointed through the window at something that stood outside.
"If a mouse could fly all that way on a little rocket," I thought, "how far could we go with a really big one?"
The sun was rising as the AdventureMice all hurried outside to stand staring at the new invention. Uncle Bernie had got hold of a whole crate of firework rockets, and he had tied them all together to make a massive tower. The stick at the bottom was stuck into a big glass bottle to hold the whole lot upright. Way up at the top, a small silver capsule shone in the sunrise.
"That looks incredibly dangerous,"
gasped Ivy.
"Oh, it is,"
said Uncle Bernie proudly.
"When I light the fuse, those rockets will go off with enough power to carry my space capsule all the way to the moon."
"But why?"
asked Juniper.
"So we can explore it, of course, and see if it's really made of cheese. But I'm much too old to go exploring, so I thought, who better to send than you brave adventure mice? It's just the sort of thing you enjoy. Come on, let me show you."
Ivy looked at the long fuse trailing from the bottom of the rocket.
"I suppose it's safe enough until someone lights the fuse,"
she said. "Nobody is going to light it," Skipper promised. "This invention is far too dangerous to use. I think it should be dismantled. But perhaps we should take a look at the capsule first, since we've come all this way."